We talked about, just before the break, the accomplishments of the Scranton School District. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the things that are happening in the district? I want to stress, we get beat up every once in a while for things that we don't deserve to be beaten up about, but one of them was, we're going to make people pay for summer school.
Right.
But nobody pays for early childhood development, do they?
No.
Talk about our leadership in that area.
Well, our leadership in that area started back in the 60s, and we've been running 3- and 4-year-old preschool programs that literally don't exist hardly anywhere across the Commonwealth, let alone northeastern Pennsylvania. So the Scranton School District, along with some federal funding, we've been funding 3- and 4-year-old early childhood programs, because we know that when we can get those kids in, the earlier we get them, the better chance we have at success. So literally, our kids go through 3-year-old, half-day 3-year-old preschool, 4-year-old preschool half-day, then they have a full day of kindergarten. By the time they hit first grade in Scranton, they're in their 4th year in the school district. And that's probably, Todd, one of the reasons why we are probably the most successful urban school district in the state, and probably one of the better school districts in the state. Granted, we do have a summer school program that students have to pay for. It's a nominal fee. It's like $80 a course. That summer school program, which has been in existence for over 30 or 40 years, really helps kids that didn't pass during the school year. It helps them kind of catch up on some of the material they missed, but also students can take it for enrichment. They can take enrichment courses during the summer. So, you know, I don't think it's fair to say, oh, Scranton should start funding a summer school program. Really, when you look at the early childhood programs and the effects they've had on our school district for literally 40 years, I'll take that any day of the week.
You know, we talk about the urban school district as opposed to the suburban school district. Mm-hmm. Most people don't know this, but the majority of the kids in Scranton are on what's called free or reduced lunches, which
Correct.
means their families can't afford to send them to school with the money. And you have so many single parents here in Scranton. You have so many kids that come from immigrant backgrounds. I mean, when I was invited to my first English as a second language course class, so we could fund another teacher, I learned that English in a second language isn't a teacher that speaks Spanish talking to 5 or 6 Mexican kids. It's a teacher who speaks maybe English and Spanish, speaking to Portuguese, Spanish, Pakistani, Polish.
Sure.
And how do you do this? And these are special teachers. But those are special problems that an urban school district has that they may not have in the Abingtons.
Yeah, and those are some of the unique challenges that we face. You know, first of all, we never make excuses. We know, over 60% of our students are economically disadvantaged. But that doesn't mean that they can't achieve at a high level. We set high expectations for these students. Even though a child may come from a single parent family, one thing that I've learned, that it doesn't matter if it's a mother and father at the home, a grandparent, or just a single parent raising the child. Our parents truly care about their kids and they care about their education. And truly, when parents and the school district are working together, that's when we can achieve the most. But what makes us unique in urban districts is that we have, an eroding tax base in terms of, we have a lot of nonprofits. We have like 5 universities now that are not taxable. We have all the churches. Every state building, every federal building, every city building, every school district building are not on the tax rolls. And then, you add to that high percentage, close to 18% of special ed students, which require a lot more funding to be able to educate them properly. You talked about English as a second language, and those create unique challenges that many suburban school districts don't face.
And your board this year, Bob, was able to pass a budget without a tax increase.
That's
with
correct.
all that is going on. And that is so important to those of us that live in the city who in tough economic times would much prefer to hire somebody than pay more school taxes. And I've never begrudged the money I pay in school taxes, but because you don't raise my taxes, I'm going to hire somebody here at O'Malley and Langan, which will increase the revenue for the school district, and that really works. And it's hard. I know how hard it is to set priorities, and you've done a great job and deserve a lot of credit for that.
Thank you, Todd. But our commitment has also, and you've been very much part of this. when Bill just spoke, I'd just like to touch on, the whole issue of our kids. A lot of kids are under the poverty line. And our population has grown, and as when you were board president, we seen a vision after that school was built. I got to say, from 1997, maybe before, during your term as president and as a school board director, we had well over $150 million worth of building projects. And one that you were very much involved in is just finishing up. That's our commitment to the children of this city. And I just want to say personally, Todd, thank you.
Well, it was, I played almost a minimal role in it, but for 14 years, what's happened in this district, you've been there. Yeah. Principal of West Scranton High School, you got to be awful proud of a West Scranton graduate that's down at Penn State, bringing a lot of credit to
absolutely.
West Scranton and Scranton High School.
Absolutely. Matt McGloin, quarterback as a walk-on at Penn State. We have Eric Shrive on that team who's down there on a full scholarship. And on top of that, academically, we have 2 students now at Columbia University who are on Gates Millennium Scholarships, full scholarships at Columbia University. That's unbelievable. We have a student at Scranton High School just received a $44,000 4-year scholarship to University of Pennsylvania. So those are the type of students that we produce in Scranton.
And I've had the opportunity and the privilege of hiring both Richard Paul and his brother John. Richard was early admission to both MIT and Harvard, and went on to NYU and is now a lawyer and worked all over the Arctic Circle, studying global warming for a huge law firm while he was in law school. And John is now a graduate, will graduate this year from Columbia University. Alex Scanlon, who is one of your great debaters, has worked for me. I mean, we produce great students.
How about Howard Gardner? Went to the
Yes.
Scranton School District, multiple intelligence.
Yeah.
I mean, we've produced some outstanding graduates, and we're very proud of each and every one of them. Each of them are productive citizens and serving either this city or major cities across the country.
Like Todd, what we started out talking about today about differences. We all have differences. We all have different opinions. And sometimes it's hard for 2 people to agree, never mind 9. But along with yourself being on the board for as long as you were and as president, we agreed on one thing. That was our commitment to this community and these kids. And that's one thing when we come out to vote. We always vote a whole 9 when it comes to these kids. There's never a waiver. And again, I just want to say thank you for having me here today and the privilege of you being our board president.
Thank you very much, Bob. And I know you have to leave us. Superintendent King will stay, but thanks for being with us, and thanks for the job you're doing. Good luck Tuesday night. We'll be thinking about you.
Thank you.